Carl, when was the last time you reminisced?
Well, my mum and dad have been round, haven't they? So been reminiscing a lot.
Yeah.
What were you thinking about?
We're just chatting about Tic Tacs.
One of the great memories, yeah. The happy memories.
Now, I used to love them
Yeah.
when I was younger.
Yeah.
My dad got a load of them.
What, this year?
No,
Just
no,
recently?
years ago.
Years ago,
Like
right.
years ago when I loved them. I said, I love Tic Tacs, me.
Yeah.
He met one of his mates.
You didn't nick him from the sweet shop?
No,
No, that's what
he
we
knew
do,
some mate who could get his hand on a load.
Right.
And he
Thief,
must have
he was a
got
thief.
about he must have got about 30 crates of Tic Tacs.
30 crates of Tic Tacs.
Honestly, we'd have about 24 on each crate. We got them, stuck them in a cupboard under the just in the kitchen in the corner.
Yeah.
Now, I worked my way through about 6 crates. I was quite happy.
When? In how long?
I don't know, in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks or something.
Right.
And then after that, I'm getting sick of these.
Right.
Yeah. You were minty fresh, but you
Oh,
were sick.
lovely fresh breath.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I haven't got that much more to tell you about it. It's just.
What do you
I
So
Just
this,
remember-
sorry, whoa. Bear in mind, this was something he was recently reminiscing with his parents about. They were sat around, and we've already learned up to an hour could go by reminiscing. Sat around for an hour, talking about the great
I've already
Tic
run
Tac
out of
saga.
responses. I've got
Yeah.
nothing to say about
No
that.
opinion.
I
It
mean,
was-
I was nearly going to say, what do you do with the empty little flicky Tic Tac
Yeah.
boxes?
And then you realise that that's utterly dull and boring.
Well,
and not
I
of any
I
interest.
was struggling. I don't know what this anecdote is, other than a bloke. Other than you said your dad, I like Tic Tacs, mate. He went, all right, I talked to Albert. Albert, you got Tic Tacs? I've got 30 crates, if that'll do, yeah? Yeah, bring him round. Put him under cupboard. He's got through 12 crates. What's his breath like? Fucking lovely, but he's been sick all over the cunting place. Oh, do you want some more? No, of course we fucking don't. You'll talk about that in a few years' time. Calls me round for about a fucking hour.
No.
And then we bring it up in an audio book.
But I think that's how we got onto it, because even though I tried to get rid of a load, I used to give them to mates, take them to school, say, have some Tic Tacs, you can have them for free. We used a load in the cat litter tray.
No. No,
we
you
did.
didn't.
We did. It
No,
was
you
just
didn't.
ways of getting rid of them.
Jesus Christ.
Sort of freshy smell, isn't it? It's the
That's
same
amazing.
sort of condensity in that, isn't it?
Condensity, it is the same condensity.
Condensity.
Yeah, so I got rid of them like that. And then the weird thing was, even though I'd got shut of them all, you'd be backing up and you'd always hear one ting its way up the tube.
It's tinging its way up the tube. It's tinging its way up the tube. It's tinging its way up the tube. Ting tong, ping pong. It's tinging its way up the tube.
That sounds like something from Willy Wonka.
Oh
No,
God.
it's just I'm just demonstrating that because that's how many of them there were around the house. You'd drop them, they'd go in every corner and that, like Pac-Man or something. They'd be everywhere. You'd be backing
amazing.
up, tinging it up.
Sheila's getting married. Hannah gets confetti. Don't buy any confetti. Go to cupboard under stairs.
So yeah, that's a little memory there, isn't it?
It
That
is a
just
little
cropped up.
memory.
Now
It's a really little memory.
The strange Tic Tac house in Salford, where everything is made of Tic Tacs.
Wow, that must have been a hell
That's
of
incredible.
a time you had with your parents there. The old Tic Tac
No, but it's
reminiscence.
better. You see, you're saying, "Oh, what a boring story that is." But when
I
your
see
mum
you've
and dad,
re-gravelled the drive. Yeah, smell it. suck the drive if you want. Fucking hell.
no, but it's different. When my mum and dad are there and they can remember that, and they're going, "Oh yeah, the Tic Tac incidents and stuff."
What's known as the Tic Tac incident.
The Tic Tac
Let us
incident.
never speak of the Tic Tac incident.
Yeah, I just imagine the clock ticking. There, it's Christmas Day. I go, what are you smiling at? Oh, remember it used to ting up the tube.
You should think about sending this to Hollywood.
Listen, what do you remember then?
What do
do
you
I remember?
That's an
Wow.
amazing thing to
That's
say.
a difficult question to answer.
Yeah, I don't. Nothing. Nothing at all.
Well, I went for a what's her name, Steve. You don't know. I've had problems with my legs.
Christ almighty.
He's the same. What are you? 33.
He's a
And you
hypochondriac.
talk like you're a 70-year-old man.
Honestly, the slightest thing, he's got time off work for this. We went to the dentist 3 times in 1 week. He goes, no, his leg's rubbed 2 times a week for
No,
some
I don't.
reason.
I don't.
In and out of the kidney hospital, and they're going, there's no kidney stone, Mr. Pilkington. He's going, oh, right. Christ almighty, do some fucking work.
No, the thing is, I've been in the last 30 odd years. I've been working hard, and I've let my body get run down a bit.
How have you, you're 30, what are you?
30, 33.
Right,
Oh.
33. Sorry to start off with such a hard question. But how have you been working for 30 years?
Well, I just have. I sort of I got on with it.
At 3? At 3?
No, I'm
Well, you
just
didn't get
saying.
on with anything at school, did you? 'Cause you were just titting about.
Yeah.
You weren't working
Yeah.
out there.
What was the first job you got? How old were you?
I was 15.
Right, okay, so you've been working for 15 years then. Okay, good.
Yeah, but
right.
I had my paper round when I was 10, didn't I? And that was hard graft. That's why I'm bald and that. Getting up at 4:30. It all adds up, doesn't it? All adds up. So anyway, I kicked my height when I was a kid.
He always says this, like it's a classic story that everyone should know.
Everyone
and
knows,
also
right.
the phrase "kicking my own height."
Yeah.
No,
Explain what you mean.
Just kicked my height when I was a
Kick
kid.
your. No one understands.
You
Karl.
kicked your leg up to the
kicked my
height that
leg.
you were at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
if you
kicked
were,
my height. It's not a well-known phrase. You can't just go, "I kicked my height."
so you were 4.5 foot, and you've put your toe up into the air 4.5 feet by kicking.
Yeah, but I landed on my back.
Right, okay. Imagine seeing that in the playground. They go, get Karl Pilkington to kick his height. I bet he falls over like a
It
fucking
wasn't in the
penguin.
playground. My dad got me to do it in the garden.
Brilliant.
Why did
They
you fall
sold
over?
tickets, the neighbours were cracking up. Yeah.
Why did you fall over? Did you hit
I just
yourself in
didn't,
the
I
head?
didn't have to kick the height. I mean, my leg got high up, but I was that chuffed that I got that high. I didn't think of putting my leg down again.
What did it look like? What the fuck did that look like?
He's got to think it all through. I thought it was automatic.
No,
In like,
It stayed there.
You sort of stay
Oh,
balanced.
Christ
But you didn't
almighty.
think, well, I'm loving this. This is brilliant, but what should I do now? I got my leg up. I'll just keep it up. Whoa!
Like a Hitler salute with his leg. What were you doing?
So anyway, I landed on my back,
Yeah.
and I did some damage, I think. And it's because
Definitely.
of that.
You sure you didn't land on your head?
And it's because of that, like all them years and what have you.
Yeah.
I've had like a trapped nerve in my leg.
Right.
So I thought, right, now's the time to have it done. Because when you get older, I mean, it was the kidney stone thing. Once you've sort of looked at, death and what have you, it just makes you think, got to start looking
Do
after
you
your
think you
body.
could die of the slightly bad leg that you've had for 15 years?
Well,
Do you think that'll eventually kill you?
well, it could do if I can't run away from danger quick enough.
Right. Again, you're thinking of Jurassic Park coming true.
Well, whatever then. I'm just saying, you've got
Yeah.
to look after yourself. If there's anyone listening
could
out
always
there
hop.
who's got a problem, get it sorted.
I'll tell you what,
That's all
though,
I'm saying.
if you have to fight off danger and you kick them, put the leg back down immediately after.
So anyway, I went to see this fella, to like a professional leg rubber.
Professional leg rubber. Yeah.
And he sort of said a few things that were quite interesting. Remember that time when we had a chat on the last lot of like podcasts? I said, "Am I in charge of my brain, or is my brain in charge of me?"
Yeah, do you remember what I said? It's the most stupid thing you've ever said.
Yeah. Well, listen to this then. So I go and see this leg rubber,
Professional leg rubber. Yeah.
right? And he is professional.
Yeah.
Right. so he-
Remember, a leg rubber. You haven't said doctor at any point in this conversation.
leg rubber.
So this however profound this is, it came from a man who is self-confessed professionally leg rubbing.
not just leg.
Does he do
back,
left and right? Or
back rubbing as well? He does it all. Right.
Right.
So I'm in
Professional
there,
rubber.
and I didn't mention about how I thought my brain was in charge of me and stuff. I'm lying there, he's bending me about and what have you. The first problem he came across is that my nerves aren't long enough for my
Right.
body.
I don't know.
my nerves aren't long enough for your body.
He was lifting my legs up and I was going, right, whoa, stop that a minute, that's hurting that. He's like, what do you mean? He said, I've only got them like just about...
Well, that's your tendons.
No, but your nerves are in your legs as well, and your tendons don't hurt, it's your nerves that kick in. It's your nerves that make you
Well,
go,
yeah,
that
but they
hurts.
hurt because your tendons are being overstretched.
Well, I'm just telling you what he said. Right, so he lifted the leg up, and I went, right,
Was
stop
this
doing
above
that.
a laundrette, this surgery?
No, it's a proper place. He had like towels and all that on
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's got towels
Oh,
there.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
the... So,
Definitely a laundrette.
so I'm lying there.
Other people's towels.
He's got towels, underpants,
yeah,
bras.
halfway through he said, you haven't got 20p, have you, for the dryer? Okay.
So I'm lying there, and he lifts the leg up,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, that hurts a lot. So he said, oh yeah, short nerves. And I said, what do you mean? He said, your outside of the body is longer than your inside.
Right, he doesn't sound like a doctor. He does not sound like a
The
doctor.
outside of your body's
Yeah.
longer than the inside.
So he had me lying on my front and what have you, and he was sort of crushing me back.
Right.
And he was going, does that hurt? I said, yeah. It was like 48 quid this as well. Putting me through all this pain and what have you.
Well, you got some good advice, though.
He said, you're pretty stressed. And I said, yeah. So it's, I've quite a bit of stress in my life. And I explained to him about the kidney stones and that. I said, oh, that's
He went, oh, shut the fuck up.
He probably said that. He said that's where you were probably got a lot of tenseness And
A lot of tenseness. Is that a phrase he used as a trained professional rubber?
He's a doctor. He's definitely a doctor.
So anyway, he said, "Do you relax much?"
You haven't got any Lenore, have you? I want these sheets to come out nice and soft.
He said, "Do you, you should learn to meditate or something." He said, "Because you're all tensed up. We're living in a stressful world, as I told me about it." So when I was telling him that I have problems relaxing, he said, that you're obviously the sort of person
Who's gullible enough to spend 46 quid for this hokum?
He said, you're the sort of person whose brain is in charge of them, rather than them being in charge of the brain.
So all you did was you met a person as stupid as you.
Yeah.
No, but I thought it's interesting that this is what he does for a living.
Yeah.
And he picked up, that was the first visit, I'd only been there about 22 minutes.
Yeah.
You get half an hour for 48 quid.
Right.
But he picked up on that within like 15,
no, he saw
20
right
minutes.
fucking sucker coming. No, he did pick up on that, yeah.
But anyway,
don't go to him again.
The reason, I am doing, I've got locked into it, I've got to go at least another 3 times.
Why?
I'm trying
What
to
do
get
you
out of it. I don't know, I didn't realise that you have to have a minimum amount of things. So what I'm saying
I can't wait. What's the wisdom he's going to come up with next week? That'll be brilliant. I will kind of, yeah.
No, but what I'm saying
Your blood's paranoid.
we were talking...
You've got jealous bones. You're the sort of person whose stomach's hungrier than you. What absolute fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
Do you know, like how we were talking about eyes, weren't we? He said the thing is, you've got to be able to relax, and the way to do it is to focus. Right? He said, I said, what do you mean? He said, when you go to sleep...
You're the sort of person whose eyes can see further than you can.
He said, when you go to sleep...
Close your eyes and see. Instead of just leaving them open staring at the ceiling.
Carl, keep breathing.
Yeah, keep breathing. Close your eyes. You're not dead. It may seem like it, but you're not. You're just asleep.
So he said...
oh, fuck me.
He said, what you've got to do when you go to sleep, focus on your toe. Right?
Okay.
He said, and just think about nothing else. I said...
He's a witch! Did he say to put a toad under the bed?
No, he just said focus on the toe and see how you go on and what have you. Next time you come in, let me know. Anyway, I gave this a go, focusing on the toe.
So what does this mean? You mean you sat in bed staring at your toes?
No, this is it. He said, like, lie down,
Visualising
shut
it.
your eyes and sort of look at it, sort of thing. So I was lying there, and it just wasn't working because...
Oh, Carl, this isn't medicine.
Because I was...
You were
even though
thinking
my
of a
eyes...
finger.
Well, no,
He found out he was thinking of someone else's toe. Next day, someone called up and said, Carl, my toe's better.
No, the problem was I was still using my eyes even though I had them shut.
Oh, God! Just when I think he could never come up with something stupid, he pulls that one out of the bag!
Right, so what does that mean?
Oh, God!
You were still... What does that mean?
I was straining them. I had them shut, but I was sort of looking down at my foot.
You were trying to see through your eyelids at your toe.
Well, I was looking down, so I'm thinking that's where the foot is. Because of that, I was straining them and they were stinging, so I had to pack it in.
I'm gonna die! I am going to die!
Again, we were talking about me being younger, and the youngest I could remember back to was 1978.
How old were you then?
When
were you born?
72.
What,
you
couldn't remember earlier than 6? You can remember back to about 2 or 3, most people. What?
No way. No way. My mum and dad don't even remember them. Because you're not doing anything. This is what I'm saying.
Mum and Dad don't even remember me then. That's amazing.
Because they pinpoint
They remember
things.
all the Tic Tacs they've ever eaten.
Yeah. Do you remember when Carl was 6? Of course I do. 5? Yeah. 4? Yeah. 3? No. 2? No.
Because you're not doing anything, are you?
My mum and Dad don't even remember me then.
And it's weird.
I remember must have been about 2 sitting on a potty surrounded by Lego. I remember that. Very strong image I have of that.
No, I don't remember that.
No, you wouldn't remember that, would you?
You weren't there, were you? What do you mean? What, you don't remember Steve sitting on a potty surrounded by Lego?
No, I mean, I can't remember having a potty. I remember having one of them.
I'm not suggesting you have the
You
same
used to
memory.
go on the fucking litter tray. Now I know why, to eat a Tic Tac while you're having a shit.
But, okay, so what is your very first memory?
The one that cropped up the other day was having my eyes sort of glued together by...
Gangsters. Where's the fucking Tic Tacs?
No, I
We
was,
lost our truck for you, gang.
when I was on holiday and I slept near the window and the window was open and I used to wake up in the morning with my eyes shut. My mum and dad thought I was having a lovely lie in. I just couldn't open my eyes.
But whoa, I don't understand. Why were they?
I'm gonna burst.
Whoa.
What do you mean?
Why were they glued? Why were they? What do you mean they were glued?
Wait, but why didn't you say, Mum, Dad, I'm not asleep. My eyes are glued together.
It's just that you get a build-up on the eyelashes.
Yeah.
And it all...
But when they came in and you could sense them looking
I didn't know they were there.
So,
Remember that time when you called me and I said I don't know where I am and I couldn't concentrate?
think of that. I called him. I went, Carl, what are you doing? I don't know where I am.
What do you mean you didn't know where you were? What you?
I got lost. I
What,
went
in London
wandering.
you got lost?
Yeah. And I went wandering and then, you know... I
It's
was
when
like,
he first moved into his new place. He was walking back from his old place to his new place and he didn't know where he was. He
How
tried
can
to
you
take a
ever
short.
really get lost in London? Though I'm just it's a cabbie.
Well, yeah, I don't want to do that because you feel bad pulling one over and then saying, where am I?
Yeah, they don't appreciate that, do they?
But I found my way back, didn't I?
Yeah.
But you told me
20
one
minutes.
time that you much prefer getting lost. You love wandering around and getting lost. You
Yeah,
said
go-
that's much better.
go
Yeah,
around
it
the
was a cold
cul-de-sac.
day. It was a cold day. I just wanted to be at home. I had things to do. There's a time and place to be lost.
Well, go on.
Well, a place
What's
you
the
don't
place?
know.
What's
and
the place to be lost?
Somewhere you don't know.
Right, good. Okay,
And the
specific.
time?
The time.
Time when you're not in a rush.
Right.
Oh, chimpanzee, that has only gone and written it down.
The jingle there to announce a yet another reading from Karl Pilkington's diary. My mum called me to ask me to look in some of the magazine shops in London for a magazine that she can't find. It's called UFO Data. I said, I ain't heard of it. She said she's seen an advert for it in one of her ghost magazines.
I love the fact that she can't even find the magazine about unidentified flying objects.
Yeah. So we get a clue
She
there.
thinks, I think I saw something, but I don't know whether it was a magazine or not.
So we get a clue there as to why you give any credence to this crap.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, I mean,
Mama Pilkington's into the same shit.
there's a lot of space out there, isn't there?
She said that this magazine has got news story about how Aldrin (brackets astronaut) has got some evidence that aliens exist.
Yeah.
I told her that I found out today that the days are about 36 minutes longer on Mars. We chatted about how this is how they are more advanced than us. Do you mean the Martians?
Yeah, if they've got a longer day, that's more time that they're awake working on stuff.
Right, yeah, we know that makes no difference at all.
No, it does.
Think about it. Think
Yeah.
about it.
Look, think about it. 6 o'clock here.
Yeah.
People are going, see you tomorrow. I'm going home. They'll be going, oh, another half hour. They've got a longer day. Productive.
And that's why they're able to fly.
That's why they're whizzing around. Yeah, I've done it over the years.
Christ almighty, what drivel!
Suzanne got in from work at 11:30. I told her about the UFOs in Mars. She said she's too tired to chat. I said, does it mean aliens will be more tired than us, or do they get more sleep? I got no answer. I love it when
It
Suzanne
scares
goes in.
her.
She never indulges
No,
you.
it
does she?
scares her. Anything with ghosts and UFOs, she sort of...
It doesn't
ignores
scare her,
does
it bores
scare
her.
No, it freaks her out. Scares her.
Okay. Read about a pub that is getting some stick because they've stopped a horse going in. It's been the horse's regular for ages, but there's been some new owners who've taken over the pub and they said they're serving fresh food and don't want a horse in there anymore.
Oh, God.
I met Suzanne after she finished work and we went for a brew in another cafe.
Gosh, Jesus.
It's always having a brew in a cafe.
It's like a sitcom.
Suzanne said I looked tired and fed up. She taught me some way to breathe that will relax me. I wasn't feeling that relaxed though, because the person behind the counter was banging about making a coffee. Noise stresses me out. I wonder if less deaf people die of stress than people with working ears do.
Oh, it's the theories. It's the
It
theories.
is such a noisy world, though, isn't it?
It is. London is noisy, very noisy.
I think just everywhere, just noise in general. I mean, I haven't got pictures in our flat because of that mirrored wall I've got.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it's tiny. You've been in it. got windows on one wall, door to get in on the other, kitchen on the other, mirrored wall on the other. So there's
No
nowhere
space for
there.
art.
There's no space for art.
I'm intrigued how you sit at home. Where's the sofa?
At home,
Yeah.
facing the mirror.
So you sit looking at yourself all night,
Yeah.
as opposed to a painting.
Yeah, but at least that changes each day.
No, it doesn't.
It does. The picture
No, it's
changes.
not. It's round and miserable every fucking day.
No, honestly, it's good to, because you don't look at yourself otherwise, especially me. I haven't got any hair to comb or anything, so I don't look in the mirror as much as the normal person. So, whereas now, I'm looking there every day.
So you're sat at home staring at yourself?
No, because the telly's in front of the mirror.
But are you not distracted by yourself?
Yeah, you do. When the adverts are on, you look up, and if Suzanne's sat next to me, I tend to talk to her through the mirror.
What do you mean? So why don't you look at her when you talk to her?
Well, you don't have to turn your neck or anything. There's no neck usage going on. I can just look forward. I look at the telly, lift the eyes up, look in the mirror, look at me, look at her.
What does she do?
No,
Look back at you
we're
in the
used to
mirror.
it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like there's more people in the room in a way. It's like,
And they're further away.
there's nothing odd about that. Why wouldn't you use? It doesn't matter. Your
Sorry,
eyes, remember, your
why
eyes
wouldn't
are
you
still...
talk to your girlfriend via a mirror all the time? Is that your question?
Well, no, I think it's quite normal. If your head is facing a mirror where you can see everything in that room, remember, it's a small flat, I can see everything that's going on in there without moving my head. Stephen Hawking would be well happy. So I can look forward, she's sat next to me. If I'm watching the telly, I can say something. Now, she's getting the sound from me still because she's sat close.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're further away, but things look better from a distance anyway.
So that's how you managed to keep this relationship alive?
Maybe.
You're such an odd little man.
But no, it's not odd. You see, there was a woman on the estate who did use... have I told you about Miss Peggy before?
No.
It rings a bell. Go on.
I'm going to tell you ages ago, it's this fat woman who used to be on the estate. She had a three-wheeler bike. And her
Push
husband...
bike, pedal bike.
Yeah, like a tricycle thing, but a big one.
Right.
She used to sit her husband in the basket in the back. Cycle about, what have you.
Yeah.
She was known as Miss Piggy. Anyway.
Oh, is this the one that she used to beat him up so your dad pretended to be a policeman?
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, well, the way she used to communicate, she used to always go in quick save and nick biscuits. And if anyone went up to her to say, stop nicking the biscuits, she'd pull out like a little mirror out of a bag, and she'd look in it, but talk to you via the mirror.
Oh, God! Oh, man!
What?
This
So she was
place you
insane?
got- It's weird, isn't it?
It was really weird.
Like
It used to scare me.
It's like a Salvador Dali painting. you exist in there.
Yeah. It's really, really
So
weird.
hang on. So she used to talk to people through the mirror because she was mental.
I couldn't sit, watch the telly, and look at me watching the telly in the mirror all night.
No,
That's
no,
weird.
that would
Why?
be really weird.
It's really weird, Carl.
I'd be very conscious of myself.
No, yeah,
Conscious
I
of the
think
way
it
I'm
gives you,
sat.
it gives you confidence and that. And if you are
Gives you
sort of...
confidence.
Well, yeah, because you're seeing yourself more and you pick up what habits you do and stuff like that.
So what have you changed through your viewing of yourself?
I sort of grew a beard the other week, just something different to look at for a bit. And then you get sick of that. It's like a piece of art. Change that, have a bit of a shave.
Can you see the back of the telly in the mirror?
A little bit, yeah. If the flat's a mess, it's a mess twice.
Oh, God! Oh. What do you think of people who are so angry at art they try and censor it or they try and destroy it? Do you think art should ever be censored?
It's where you put it. If it's in a gallery, then it doesn't have to be censored. If it's in Trafalgar Square, where everyone's wandering around having a nice time, you don't want a 12-foot cock. So it's all about where you put it. I think some art looks better because of where it is. If you want to do a serious point, don't use animals.
No? Well, I disagree with that because I think my favourite is probably Charles Dickens, and I think the greatest story ever told is A Christmas Carol, and there's only one way that could ever be improved, and that is a Muppet Christmas
That's
Carol.
absolutely right. Yeah.
So, and I think that you could, and I think people could take a lesson from that and maybe do other films with the Muppets. A Muppet Schindler's List.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make it so moving, couldn't you?
Schindler's List in space.
Miss Piggy's Choice. Have we talked about that?
What?
About things like that in art as well. Do you think that bringing something so serious to the masses, like films do, things like the Holocaust and like Sophie's Choice, where she has to choose which child lives and dies?
Why does she have to pick?
Well, because the Nazis were horrible, nasty, evil people.
And which one did she pick?
I don't think that's the point. I don't think that's the point.
I love the idea that
this is not a betting game.
No, but I imagine this is like Deal No Deal. It's kind of you're down to the last two. Which one are you going to go for?
God. But why did you ask which one did she choose? Because even if he'd said the names, Robert and Alison, what difference would it make? You don't know the story. Why is it that
because
you've
then I'd ask more then. If he said Alison, I'd go, what was it with Alison? What did she have over Robert? That's what films are meant to do. You question it. Whenever I watch a film with Suzanne, I always say at the end, what was going on there?
That's because you're an idiot.
Christ.
That's because you've just watched Muppet Christmas Carol and you can't understand why a frog's able to talk.
I'm all for films with a good storyline.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's a fair point. One extraordinary point.
He's going to follow this up, mate. He's going to follow this up.
He's got something there. He's got something here.
Carl, go on then. What's your take on films?
Films are really good. You can get lost in them.
Right.
And
you like one with a good story?
I mean, whenever anyone asks, it's always the same. It's Elephant Man. It's Kes. Mission Impossible 2.
Mission Impossible 2. These are what you consider the great works of film
I'm just saying these are ones that I've enjoyed recently. There's so many films that I haven't seen, yet you always say, oh, have you seen so-and-so?
What, Mission Impossible 1?
And there's good news for you. 3's out.
That's true. Which is another important value of art, of course. People's self-expression, people being able to give a little piece of themselves through their work. Do you not see any value in that? How do you express yourself?
Whistle.
You whistle.
Yeah, I found over Christmas I whistled a lot more than I usually do. And I think that was just freedom.
What do you mean freedom?
Right,
freedom.
Expand on this point, if you would.
Well, that's what art is, isn't it? It's you being free of all the world's heaviness on your shoulders.
See, that's a great quote, that. That's great, that. For art is freedom. I love that, because I think you've really hit on something there. Would you include the free of all the world's heaviness? Well, I know what you meant. I know what you meant there.
Would you include that one in it?
I mean, I would include the world's heaviness in my freedom. You know, some artists are attracted to the dark side, the heaviness of the world.
But I just want to return to you whistling as your artistic expression of freedom. I mean, why did you find yourself whistling more?
That's what was weird.
So just take us through a typical day. When would the whistling begin?
So this was that you spent Christmas down in Kent with Suzanne and her parents. Yeah. Could I suggest something? Your freedom was thinking, I'm in my own place now. I'm going to annoy them.
Well, it was mainly it's when we were playing Scrabble, and they were taking ages to have their go, and couldn't have the radio on because the boiler affects the radio.
You've got boiler problems down in Kent as well?
It works. It just gives something off. Every time it kicks in, the radio goes all staticky.
Right.
So I just was sort of supplying the soundtrack.
And what kind of things would you be whistling?
It was like, I just sort of did a whistle medley. It was going from one thing to another.
A wedley?
And a man was impressed. She was like, oh, you can whistle, can't you? I was going, yeah. And then she was saying, how loud can you go? I was just doing all different levels.
Sorry, this sounds like a scene from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The boiler's setting off the radio. I can whistle. Oh, you're good whistling, aren't you? Oh, let's grab out. Talk about outsider art.
I love the fact that Carl's life is like living in a home. When you're in your 80s.
Yeah.
But you felt that this was your way of expressing yourself.
I just found it odd, because I don't whistle that much. I think just because I think I'm fed up most of the time when I'm in London. And you don't whistle when you're fed up. Whistling's a happy thing. You never get an angry man suddenly breaking into a whistle.
The people who aren't whistling are usually pissed off. But yeah, the bloke who's whistling, it's like, it's the least, he's the least annoyed person in the room when someone's whistling. Same as holding a drill. The only person that noise doesn't annoy is the bloke who's drilling. Everyone else wants to bunch his face in. Same with whistling. There's no point in whistling.
No, there is.
No, there's not.
Don't know. I mean, our window cleaner was known as, like, you know, that's how you knew he was there. He always whistled. And in the end, he fell off his ladder, broke his front teeth.
Oh.
Retired.
What, because he couldn't whistle?
That was it. It was like...
Well, yeah, he
can't
whistled all the time.
Can't whistle,
Well, yeah.
can't clean windows. It's a bit tragic.
Could he take along a whistle? Just pop that in his mouth.
Yeah, I suppose he could have done. I didn't think of that.
What about a flute? Or a recorder? Not London's burning again. Fucking clean the windows and then fuck off.
He didn't really think this through, did he? He retired at the age of 28. And his whole family were bankrupt.
With no teeth.
Yeah.
And just a bucket and a
Why aren't
squeegee.
you working, Dad? Because I can't whistle.
I can't whistle anymore. And if the day you give up whistling is the day I give up window cleaning.
So you never whistle?
No.
I can't really whistle very well. No.
I don't whistle, but I can whistle better than that.
What, you did this for hours on end while playing Scrabble?
About 2 hours.
2 hours?
Put my word down.
And sorry, can we just hear that again? Just hear. Can we hear it?
So you
But
were
that
whistling,
is-
you were whistling after you'd had your go as well?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, Carl.
But hang on, let's just hear a bit. That is Carl's self-expression. That is his artistic self-expression right there.
A name. No tune, no nothing.
There's mental patients who have smeared canvases with shit who have expressed more than you have in that.
Yeah, but it's not about other people. I'm not there to please other people.
You're there to annoy him.
What was the best word you came up with in Scrabble?
Don't knock me at Scrabble, because I do all right. What's weird is, when I play Scrabble, my brain can come up with words that I don't normally say.
Okay, this isn't... No, I'm intrigued here. Your brain can come up with words you wouldn't normally say.
Just words that I'd never drop into a sentence.
Tree, cat.
Go on.
Squirm. That's using a Q. It's worth 10, that. It's not bad, is it? Now, I'd never say that.
I've never heard you... I don't think I've ever heard you say squirm, no. I don't think you're right, Carl. I've never heard you say squirm.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it is weird.
And yet your brain popped that one out.
And then, yeah, when it wasn't my go, just... Anyway, so that's sort of doing art for yourself as opposed for other people.
I don't think you can count what you just did then as art. Hobby maybe, craft, pastime. I don't think you can count that as art. I'm not being funny. I'm being a bit snobby here. But I think there's a difference between Beethoven and... Squirm. There's a Q in that.
I don't care because it's the last day on Earth.
What would you do?
I've always wanted to kick a duck up the arse. The spiders, the deadly ones you're aware of, the ones that are just pottering about, you go, don't even worry about them, don't even give them a name. They're not doing anything.
But what if there's another poisonous spider they haven't identified yet, lurking in the undergrowth?
I'd be very surprised.
So you'd be very surprised.
I'd be surprised if there was
It
something...
sounds like laziness on your part.
But they're
No,
discovering
it's
new
not.
species all the time.
We know about all the dangerous stuff now, because we have to. We live in
No,
a
we
world
don't.
now. We do. We know about a lot of the dangerous stuff. Whenever they find something new now, it's like a new
look-
butterfly or...
Well, no, look at AIDS. When I was a kid, no one had ever heard of AIDS.
Yeah, but that's not a natural thing, is it? That's not like a spider or
What do you mean it's not a
ladybird.
natural thing?
It's not a natural thing. It's not something that's... AIDS hasn't been, like, living under the soil for millions of years, but I'll wait till the 1980s and I come out and kill a load of people.
No, but it is a natural
It's a new thing. It's new.
Yeah, but loads of animals are new, aren't they? Evolutionary terms, there's new animals in evolution.
I'm sure there's new stuff deep down that's just like, almost like bacteria, sat under the soil, it'll never come to the top, right? It's like having an old woman who's a neighbour. She never goes out, she doesn't bother you. Let her be.
But what if that old neighbour could unlock the secrets to...
I don't think she can.
Just even to us understanding the complexities of the universe, of the way things have developed and grown.
Because we know about it.
Well, why would we know about it? Because I never understand, why is it you want to stop researching and studying now? Why is it that you're happy to just draw a line under everything else? What if people had said this back in the 19th century?
We've done this. I think it's someone in the 1900s. We said everything that's going to be invented has been invented. And then look what happened in that century.
Yeah, and I've said to you, look at the stuff that is being invented now. The frisbee and stuff like that. It's all stuff that you kind of go, it's all right, it's a good idea, but we don't need it.
Yeah, but the frisbee wasn't being worked on by the top brains of our generation. That was some novelty toy that some manufacturer made.
Yeah, but it's like, look at the fuss we made over that fella who came up with a Dyson vac. Everyone was like, he's up there with Einstein. Well, he's not. It's a good vac. It cleans up floors well and everything.
Who said he's up there with Einstein?
His PR people
In one of those programmes where they did, like, great inventions of our time, it was easy early on. You go, Einstein, you know, Newton did this, Archimedes, Dyson. And they started to run out, because it is harder to come up with something new now. Because everything that's needed... Remember, the things we've invented are things that we sort of go, we could do with that. Inventors don't sit there going, what can I make? Oh, I need a toaster. They've sat there, they've burnt the toast under the grill, and they've gone, I need some sort of device here.
Well, somebody, yeah.
And what can it do? I'll shake
Necessity
it like that,
is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
However, there are people who sit around going, where's a loophole in the market? Where's a niche?
Here's something. About a year ago, I came up with a see-through toaster, so that you can see how much the toast is cooked.
Right.
I found it about 2 months after that. Someone had done it. Right. So I'd just been beaten to the post.
Think of computers.
Yeah, computers are a good thing, and it baffles me as to how they came about. When you think a computer chip is just made out of sand. Now, for someone to come up with that, you go, there must have been some sort of alien involved here.
What do you mean? Why do you think that? So I love it. So the frisbee, rubbish. Anything too clever, well, it wasn't an invention, it was an alien. So there's nothing between frisbee and computer chip.
What I'm saying is, it's not even an idea, is it?
What do you mean?
A computer chip, where's that come from?
Oh, it's amazing.
Well,
it's astounding, yeah.
So you think it was an alien? What are you talking about?
Great.
Because I can't believe that someone would go, right, I want to make something that will hold information and be able to do... I know, let's use some sand, we've got loads of that. You'd go, what, you don't...
Well, that's what genius is, though,
But
isn't
Carl,
it?
there's no alien involved.
No, but when I say alien, I don't mean an alien came down here and said, you know, oh, do you want to buy this? There could have been a spaceship crash, right?
Right, yeah.
And there's all them rumours, isn't there, in that hangar. They've got the spaceship, they take it apart, they go, yeah, wheels, we've got them, yeah, steering wheel. And then they go, hang on, what's this here? And they find the chips, and they break it down, and they find
Carl,
it's sand.
But the fact that sand makes computer chips is not the interesting thing. The interesting thing is how the human being discovered that, what am I talking about, sand makes computer chips, that silicon can have information put on it. But we're made out of oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, do you know what I mean? And hydrogen.
Yeah, but that's nature. You see, nature is amazing. You can't beat nature, right?
No.
It comes up with some amazing things.
Yeah, but man is nature. Don't forget that we're an animal. We're a brilliant ape. We're actually 98.6% genetically identical to a chimpanzee, Carl. Think of that. We only differ on 1.4% of our genetic makeup.
That must be the arse. Because that's a lot different. I told you, didn't I, about my dad's mate who had a monkey and he had to thump it.
What? Well, there's two things there. One, why did he have a monkey? Two, what sort of discipline is thumping a monkey? What was the monkey doing?
He was annoying his wife a lot and sort of, you know, pinching her arse and stuff like that.
Right,
No,
right.
that's
Wait
not
a minute.
true.
We've
It's
never
not true.
heard this before. How have we had all these years
I'm
of
sure I
monkeys and
told
we've
you
never
about
heard this
it ages
before?
ago.
Your dad had a mate who had a monkey?
Yeah, I'm sure I told you.
Why did he have a monkey? Just for a laugh?
Well, it was back in the day when people did. They all had, like, odd sort of pets and
When?
that, didn't they? In, like, about 68.
Oh,
In
1968, when everyone had a monkey.
But he had to thump it. Now, the weird thing is...
No, that's weird enough.
Is this is all the story? This is the entire story?
No.
You've got all the information you've got is he had a monkey and he had to thump it?
Yeah, my dad told me about it. When he found out that I was into monkeys, he said, oh, Benny thumped one. And
Benny thumped one. Oh, my son's into natural history, particularly simian variety. I've got an interesting fact for you, Carl. Sit down. What is it, Peter? Benny thumped one. Brilliant.
But what was interesting is the way that people are thumping other people all the time. No one bats an eyelid. Thump a monkey. People go, you thumped a monkey.
Yes, they do. They do go, you thumped a monkey.
So that's what's weird, isn't it?
But this chimp doesn't want to be caged and kept in a fucking council house in
No,
Manchester.
it was quite happy. And if it wants to
wasn't
live like a
happy.
human... I mean, in the 70s, you know, there were all the teabag adverts and all that, and they were loving that.
No, they
When
weren't
people
loving it.
interfere, people go, that's unfair. Now they're in like a cage in a zoo. You go, it was better when I was pushing a piano up a stairs.
They weren't really...
They weren't actual delivery men.
They weren't really sitting down and having a cup of tea.
It wasn't a documentary. A week in the life of the monkey delivery men.
I love that. Chimps in a zoo now going, fucking hell, at least we were free.
Remember when we used to drive a van?
And we're on 58 quid a week.
Yeah.
They're not meant to be kept in a house in Manchester. Cruel to keep a person in a house in Manchester, so it's fucking cruel to keep a monkey. What do you think of that, Carl? If you wanted to make the ultimate fighting animal, what would you come up with? If you had the power, like that fella in Arabian Nights, size of a chimpanzee, you could change into anything, but you could change into, you know, like that.
I don't think I'd go for strength and that. I'd go for survival.
What would you do? Cockroach?
No, I'd have like an armadillo's body.
Right. Okay.
I'd have head of an owl.
Right.
The head of an owl?
Yeah, why, what does that bring to the table?
The head's there to sort of make it look friendly to the
make it
human
friendly.
race. So,
Okay.
because if you look half decent to the human race, they'll look after you.
Right.
That's the way it works,
Yeah.
isn't it? With
Okay.
a cat and a dog and all that. So the owl makes it look nice.
Right.
I'd have, I wouldn't have legs, I'd go for like the slug juice.
What do you mean? So now you're a really slow-moving, legless armadillo with the head of an owl.
Slithering along. How is that going to be friendly? They'll see the beautiful face, but then they'll be terrified by the slug.
No, because the head's that nice that they'll forgo the sludge.
But hold on, though. But wait a minute. So it's got this thing that's stuck, right, going at 0.1 miles an hour, with a going, hoo, right? You come over, you kick the head off. How is this
No,
a
because the
survival?
head can go into the thing like a tortoise.
Can it?
Yeah, of course it can. Into the armadillo body.
Well, no, an armadillo doesn't do that. It just curls up into a
No,
ball.
this isn't an armadillo, is it?
So it's... Oh, go
Why
on
has
then.
it got the slug? Why
Because
is that so attractive?
what I'm thinking is an armadillo. They're good when they're on the feet. Flip them, they get stuck like a tortoise.
Right.
Slug stuff keeps it down. So if anything attacks it, it's like a limpet or one of them things that can.
Why
lock
have a
stuff.
limpet then?
But it can't get any. How it can barely move. It can
Just
hardly
go and
get
just go
anywhere.
and kick it.
What do
Just
you mean
as-
it can't get
Well, how can
anywhere?
it escape from danger? It's going to move very
rubbish.
slowly.
No, 'cause
What? That's the
it'll
worst
lock
animal.
itself in. It'll lock itself in.
Yeah, and then I'll just scoop it up on the
You
sand.
can't scoop it up. It locks itself in if it's in danger. I'd give it peacock feathers.
This is the worst animal
Why has it got peacock feathers?
Again, it's just
the worst animal I've ever heard.
Why has it got peacock feathers?
threatening. It looks more threatening.
It
That's
does,
what
well,
peacock
that's the
feathers do.
least threatening thing, peacock feathers. It's like Danny LaRue coming at you. There's
Yeah.
nothing remotely scary about peacock
Yeah,
feathers.
to humans,
Yeah.
but the humans won't be harming it because they like the owl head. People will like to have these things in the garden. They eat lettuce.
They eat lettuce. They eat Why has it got a beak? They eat lettuce. He's telling them what it's going to eat now. The owl's going, fuck that, I want a mouse. I love the fact that he's based what it eats on the fact that how it moves a bit like a slug.
Yes,
Let it eat
yeah.
lettuce. It moves that and let it eat lettuce.
Like I said, it's not that weird if that existed. If that was normal, like when you went out to empty your bin, there was one of them sliding up the wall. You wouldn't even double take. You'd just be like, oh, there's the owl head peacock feathered thing.
I don't know why it's climbing walls in an effort to find lettuce.
Yeah, why is it climbing up that wall?
Because that's the only way it can see properly. Because its head's coming out like that.
So even though you've designed this animal, now you're even expanding
got
its limitations.
Well,
Now
it's
got a
mainly
problem.
made as to be on walls. Because what else is living on walls?
Oh, God. Oh, fucking hell. What a useless animal that is. Carl, I mean.
Well, nature chucks up odd things, doesn't it?
Don't. Why are we starting on this again?
No, I'm just saying that is nature. Now and again, you'll get stuff that.
Oh, was he looking at you?
Yeah.
Was he really?
Look at his fucking head. Look at his stupid, round, fucking orangey head and... Oh.
Why aren't you a freak? You've got a little bald head. We're not meant to be bald.
Well, I was, I think. That's the thing. That's what nature's done. You see, I didn't do anything with my hair when I had hair. I didn't style it. I didn't do anything with it. And it probably thought, what am I doing here? Whereas people who love their hair and they comb it and have different styles and look after it, they have hair for ages.
Nonsense.
No, nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Well, you're saying that.
Absolute nonsense.
Well, it's a little bit weird then, isn't it? And that's what happens with old people. Once they lose their, will to live, once they lose the job, they get old. What's my purpose? What am I doing here? And it's like nature goes, you're not needed. And they die. Maybe that's what happened with the dodo. What's it doing? Can't fly. Its wings are useless. Eat it. Tastes horrible. Kill it.
No, they did eat
Nature.
it. I think they did eat it.
Yeah, but it wasn't very nice, was it?
I think they over-farmed it. I think that's why it was extinct. Because they did eat it.
No, but they did eat it, but they didn't like it. Everybody, you never saw like a fully eaten carcass of a dodo.
You're
know,
making
it's
this up again.
half-eaten.
All conjecture.
No, but they didn't eat it all. Everybody would probably try it and go, it's not for me, that.
But you don't know
No
this.
idea,
You
you're
don't
just
know
making
this.
it up.
What's this based on?
I've
That
just-
people... And also, why would that kid it out?
Because I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because if it's not nice, people don't get another one in. And they die out. The reason we've got loads of chickens and loads of cows is because we eat them. If we ate polar bears, we wouldn't be short of them. Because you'd farm it, you'd take more care. But what's a polar bear doing? Sat on a block of ice floating about. It's no use to us, is it? It sounds harsh.
Once
it's
again,
no
got
use.
his information from a Glacier Mint
No,
advert.
but it's no use to us. We know they're there, and it's all very sad when you see them on the news sort of struggling and all that.
Yeah.
But it's going to make them stronger.
What would you do for your doctor? And I came to you and went, Carl, listen, I'm having a bit of a rethink of these. The penis, I hate it. I hate this cock.
But what do you mean you hate it?
I hate it. I don't want it there. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. It just sits there resting on these fucking awful testicles that I'm going to get rid of. I want this thrown away.
Yeah, well, it's, they're not a great look. I know that. Everyone knows that. It's just the way they are. I mean, if we're all being honest, they're an odd design. I don't think anyone likes their own, do they? That's why we cover them. They're not a great thing, are they?
What's this not why we cover them, though, is
It's
it?
part of it, I think. I think deep down, I mean, even if, like, I know you ate the Adam and Eve thing, but even if back then he was like, good God, cover them up. Even he had a leaf on.
No, but listen. Right. So, are you thinking fundamentally, then, that aesthetically, the testicles and the penis isn't as good as it could be? What would you have there instead?
Well, it's designed that way because that's the way it's got to be designed. It's more about function than
Yeah.
and that's the thing, isn't it? With modern technology,
You need, the thing is the testicles have to be outside because they have to be a few degrees below body temperature.
yeah.
Otherwise, the Sertoli cells die, which sort of feed the semen and all that. So, to be functioning and sort of like fertile, they have to be outside, which is annoying because I'd put a little rib cage around them, like that. I'd pop a rib cage round those, protect them, wear a cricket box, have that built in, so you cannot get a swift kick in the bollocks that
but
makes
it'd
you
be
feel sick.
But it'd be better if they could sort of reverse up in a way that they were hidden away, so
Yeah.
that they were just. Then you dropped them. It's like, right, we need to cool them down. Be at it in about half an hour.
Yeah.
Drop them down.
Yeah, like the gear on an aeroplane, landing gear. Yeah, and landing gear down, and the bollocks and the cooling down. Or you could just pop them in the fridge for 10 minutes.
It's
Well,
like
they could detach and you could pop them in the fridge. Cool
Yeah.
them down.
Can you make me some breasts?
easy.
Okay. Go on, you say easy. What are you gonna do? What's your plan?
Just how do you do that? It's tablets, isn't it?
No, but
Testosterone, isn't it?
Testosterone.
Toblerone. I want some Toblerone.
Well, sort of pointy tits, like Madonna.
Where do you stop though? Supposing I came to you and said, Doctor, listen, I like the bollocks, I like the penis, but I don't like them where they are. I want them in the middle of my chest. I want breasticles. Yeah? The arse, I don't like it round the back, I can't see what's going on. Pop that on the front where the bollocks were. I want my arse where I can look down and see what's going on. Can you do it?
I think it's just easier to move the head, isn't it?